To all my marketers out there, you're probably spread real thin right now. I'm sure you need some help between creating content, launching campaigns, generating leads, scoring leads, nurturing leads, and a lot more stuff with leads. You barely have a moment to breathe, let alone do your best marketing. But that's where HubSpot and Breeze, its new built-in AI, come in. When you combine the power of Marketing Hub and Content Hub, you can have your best quarter, every single time. With tools that instantly remix your content, lead scoring to shine a light on potential customers, and AI-curated analytics suite for reports and KPIs. And that's all alongside co-pilots and agents to automate all of your tasks, making your life easier, getting you the results faster, and better connecting you to all your data all in one place. Doesn't that sound nice? So stop spreading yourself so thin and start making major moves with HubSpot. You can visit HubSpot.com/marketers to learn more.
Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, January 28th. I'm John Weigell here with Sara Friedman, and this is the Hustle Daily Show. The health and wellness industry is booming, and Spotify founder Daniel Ek is excited to capitalize on it. Ek's new co-founded startup, Neko, wants to give customers a full body scan and checkup for about $373 per visit. So what's the purpose of this body scan, and what's the hype behind it? We'll get into all that, but first, let's give you the news in business and tech. First up today, as plastered all over the internet, U.S. stocks took a big nosedive Monday morning after Chinese AI company DeepSeek presented R1, basically its version of ChatGPT. The AI model has all the same bells and whistles, but operates on a fraction of the budget needed to power American AI tech. DeepSeek said it spent only $5.6 million training its model compared to the hundreds of millions spent on AI tech at companies like OpenAI, Google, and Meta, which actually just decided to invest about $60 billion this year for its AI data centers. So, Sara, what do you make of this DeepSeek situation?
Yeah, as you mentioned with the Meta investment, just to put that into context, Sam Altman said the AI industry would require trillions of dollars in investment in the US. So that is a shockingly low number for something that looks a lot like ChatGPT. And DeepSeek did actually today, it took over OpenAI's spot as the most downloaded free app in the US as of Monday morning in the Apple App Store. And one more interesting update, they did also announce that they were hit with a large-scale cyber attack and would need to temporarily limit new user registrations today. So wow. It's been a very busy day for DeepSeek. As you said, it obviously threw the US stock market into a bit of a tailspin as people were panicking about what this means for big tech in America, but definitely interested to see how that plays out.
Yeah, NVIDIA went down above 10%. Yeah, it's been a real reckoning today.
Yes.
Even though, as you mentioned, the company is now working through some issues, but still, it definitely poses a threat more than we thought. Next, out of the many potential suitors to acquire TikTok, one of the most interesting bids has come from Perplexity AI, an AI search engine startup. The bid would give the U.S. government a 50% ownership stake in TikTok, and they are currently in their second draft of this bid. From there, we go to cars. Kia is recalling over 80,000 vehicles due to a faulty wiring that can stop airbags and seatbelts from working properly, and dealers will inspect and fix any defective wiring for free. This recall follows one in November to fix the transistor in over 208,000 Hyundai and Kia EVs. And on to Meta. If you ever wondered how Meta's Threads app makes money, it kind of doesn't right now. Since the app launched in 2023, there have been really no ads or money grabs present. But now, in 2025, Meta is beginning ad testing on the platform to its 300 million users. And finally, a look at some great customer service and PR today. A woman who was on the way to the hospital recently pulled over and gave birth in a Krispy Kreme parking lot in Alabama. Though the store was closed at the time, the manager actually offered the family free donuts for a year and to host the baby's first birthday party. Now that's good PR. On to the main story today. So we all know that the younger generations are more concerned about their health and wellness, which has been a huge financial boost for the health and health tourism industries. It looks like a fairly new startup, though, has all the makings to make a big impact here. So, Sara, can you tell me about Neko?
Yes. So they are a Stockholm-based startup, which was notably co-founded by Spotify founder and CEO Daniel Ek in 2018. And they just closed a $260 million Series B fundraising round, which valued the company at $1.8 billion.
Wow.
So that sounds like a pretty big figure, but they already have generated a lot of interest and proven that people want their product. The waitlist has grown from 40,000 people just months ago to more than 100,000 today, according to TechCrunch. And the product that everyone is lining up for is full body scans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. And as mentioned up top, it's going to cost about $373 per session. Tell me about the body scan. How, I guess, does this differ from, for example, just getting an MRI? Because I can go over hop, skip, and get an MRI for about $200 right now if I wanted to. Attractive offer, but
Yeah, sure. I mean, that sounds nice. And that's a good way to spend your Wednesday, maybe. But this is a little bit different. So essentially, it's a really futuristic looking clinic room, monochromatic. It honestly looks a little bit like a spa mixed with a Wes Anderson movie mixed with a healthcare facility, but it's essentially a bunch of cameras. So there are 70 sensors and dozens of cameras, and it creates a composite picture of your body using 50 million data points.
Mm-hmm.
And then after you're done with that intensive step, patients go to an exam bed where you do 2 more scans, eye and blood pressure measurements, a grip test, and then lastly, kind of the only thing that's actually invasive is a blood test.
Okay, so you're basically getting scanned there, and I guess what is the result of the scanning? What are they kind of assessing here? Is it your overall health? Are they looking for anything in particular?
Yeah, I mean, they're looking for kind of everything from blood pressure to moles on your skin cancer detection, your risk of different diseases. So each hour-long visit includes a doctor consultation after you've gone through all of these tests, and then recommendations for annual follow-ups if needed. And according to TechCrunch, 80% of customers have rebooked and prepaid for another appointment upon finishing that first full body scan. So it's looking like most people are getting some type of information that's making them want to come back. And so far, they've scanned 10,000 patients in clinics in Stockholm and London. Mm-hmm. And with this new round of capital, they're planning to expand likely in the US.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I'm not really surprised about this because given from what we've been seeing all over about, especially young people in the US, particularly traveling to other countries like Turkey to get a full body medical exam for a very low price, people just getting their wellness checked more regularly now than they ever did before, especially, millennials and Gen Zs alike. So I imagine they aren't the only player in the space.
Yeah, they're not. And it's funny that you mention MRIs because their biggest competition are companies that actually focus on MRI tech rather than what is essentially like very intelligent cameras and sensors. So there's Prenuvo, which we've talked about a couple of times before. A little pricier, they charge $1,000 for a torso MRI and $2,500 for the full body imaging. A lot of celebrities have backed this company. You've probably seen Kim Kardashian talking about it and many others. And they actually recently surpassed 100,000 scans. Wow. So they are very busy. And there's another company called Ezra. Similarly, it's MRI tech, and they have offerings, again, on the pricier side. So ranging from $1,500 for a quick full body, they call it a flash MRI scan, whatever that might mean. I think it takes 30 minutes, to just shy of $3,000 for a full body MRI and CT scan. So you're getting a really different type of imaging. This might be what people kind of expect when they think of a full body scan. They really want to see, what's going on inside of their brains and bodies that they would not otherwise know. But there's kind of different elements happening within the sector right now, depending on what tech a startup is using.
Sure. And it sounds like in comparison to this advanced MRI technology that the Neko scan isn't exactly that expensive compared to the numbers you just listed between $1,000 and $3,000, it sounds like, for these kind of more intense MRI types. So, I mean, it makes sense why people are lining up for this, I guess, because if an MRI with insurance is still hugely priced, then why wouldn't you just go this route, I guess?
Yeah, it's much more cost effective. And I think that they're not promising that they can necessarily tell you anything that you can't find out elsewhere. I think the allure here is that you can do it all in one place and gather such a massive amount of data. So even if it's something as simple as looking at moles on your skin and whether or not you should worry about skin cancer, like, of course, that's something a dermatologist could do, but could you do it in the same room where you can find out about your risk of diabetes and your blood pressure and an eye exam and a grip test and kind of like just sit there for 1 hour and have all of your information? Like, as you said, younger generations are really tech savvy, love information, also value their time. I think there's something to be said for being able to do it all in one place, get all of your information at once, and then be instructed how to move forward.
Yeah, I guess on the other side of it, though, there must be some issues with it because given if I had 50 million cameras scanning me or 50 million points, one of them has to be off. Something has to be not working correctly. So how are they kind of mitigating that potential issue?
Yeah, I mean, I think that remains to be seen. I think these services are expensive enough right now that still they're not super common. Not everyone is running out and doing this, but there's definitely already a lot written by physicians who worry that these types of services might do more harm than good. I mean, one, just psychologically, it introduces a lot of extra anxiety and worry about things that you might never need to worry about. If you go looking for a problem, you're very likely to find one. And with that many sensors and data points, it's very likely that, you know, as I said, 80% of people are rebooking for a follow-up. So most people are probably finding something they're being told to watch out for. So there's the concern there of, you know, unnecessary costs piling up if you're going to doctor's appointments and chasing down problems that might not even exist, and just kind of putting those costs and anxieties onto patients might do more harm than good.
Yeah, sure. And over time, you know, this is over $300 now, but maybe in a few years, if we have more startups getting into the playing field, prices become more competitive. As the service becomes more widely available, price might go down. So all I'm saying is when it hits, you know, the $20 sweet spot, maybe I'll pay a visit.
Right. I mean, once you can just pay your deductible and, you know, this is baked into primary care, which honestly, one day on the track that we're on seems very possible that this is, you know, the new primary care visit is just a full body scan, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. That'd be cool. Just send in a copay and get scanned. Sounds good.
Exactly.
All right, and that'll do it for us today. Thanks for tuning into the Hustle Daily Show. We're a proud part of the HubSpot podcast network. Our editor is Robert Hartwig, and our executive producer is Darren Clark. We've got a lot more tech and business coverage in our newsletter. Go get subscribed to it at thehustle.co/email and follow us on Instagram at thehustledaily. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, everybody, I've been listening to this awesome podcast lately. It's called Nudge, hosted by Phil Agnew. It's brought to you by the HubSpot Podcast Network, the audio destination for business professionals. So have you ever noticed how the smallest changes can have the biggest impact? On Nudge, you learn simple, evidence-based tips to help you kick bad habits, get that raise, and grow a business. Every bite-sized 20-minute show comes packed with practical advice from admired entrepreneurs and behavioral scientists alike. And Nudge is fast-paced, but still insightful with real-world examples that you can actually apply. Oh, and by the way, it's the UK's fastest-growing business podcast. I was listening to an episode recently that Phil, the host, had on Harvard professor Mike Norton, and Mike convinced Phil that he had to handwrite every single one of his emails before sending them to understand what he was really trying to talk about. This process, although it sounds insane, he claims, Phil, that it made his emails 3.5 times better. You got to listen to this podcast. It's a great way to understand how email marketing can help your business. You can listen to Nudge wherever you get your podcasts.
New year, new resolutions. And this year on the Best Idea Yet podcast, we're revealing the untold origin stories of the products you're obsessed with. And we promise you have never heard these before.
Ever wonder how the iconic Reese's peanut butter cup was invented? Because it was by accident. H.B. Reese, a former frog salesman,
True story,
stumbled upon the idea after accidentally burning a batch of peanuts.
Classic.
Proving that sometimes our best ideas arise from what seem like our biggest mistakes.
And Jack, did you know there's a scientific explanation why humans crave that surprising combo of peanut butter and chocolate?
I didn't, but it sounds delicious.
It is delicious.
So, if you're looking to get inspired and creative this year, tune in to the Best Idea Yet. You can find us on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts.
And if you're looking for more podcasts to help you start this year off right, check out New Year, New Mindset on the Wondery app. Who knows? Your next great idea could be an accident that you burned. This is Nick.
And this is Jack.
And we'll see you on the Best Idea Yet.